Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm coming to you from my moderately warm garage. It's not super hot tonight. I got the fan on. I want to say it's probably about 90 degrees or 89 degrees in here tonight. So not as bad as sometimes it usually is when it's 95 or 96 degrees. So I can actually tolerate being out here. Got a couple of gun things I want to talk about, some channel things, and then I want to talk about some very serious topics that I think we need to be preparing for as gun owners as the new school year has started. But if you guys don't want to be depressed, sometimes people, when they comment on my videos on this channel, they don't like it when I get into the depressing topics. So I'll give you a warning if you want to click away before I start talking about those things. But let's talk about guns first. I'm out here cleaning this Christensen Arms CA-10. This was an amazing gun to shoot at the range. This thing exceeded my expectations, and I'm so glad that I got to review this, and I can't wait for you guys to see the final product on all that I have to talk about when it comes to this and the results of me at the range with this thing. Absolutely fantastic gun. I got to get it cleaned up so I can return it to my friend D, who of course lends these amazing guns to the channel, and hopefully he'll have something awesome to replace it with for me to review and check out. So that's what I'm doing out here. I'm cleaning. I also want to talk about gun companies' customer service. I found that Rock River Arms sells a copy of the 9mm Colt SMG barrels, which would be perfect for my 9mm SBR build upper receiver I'm kind of doing right now. And I think it's the direction that I want to go in. However, I have a question about it. When I go to their website, now by the way guys, I know that Rock River Arms was one of the companies that worked with the anti-gunners in Illinois trying to get themselves exempt, okay? So I already have issues dealing with this company because of that. However, they seem to be the only company that offers a 10.5-inch 9mm AR-15 barrel with an attached A-pillar front sight. But when it comes to this barrel, I look at the pictures they have online. Everything about it looks fantastic, but because I had to take off the A-pillar front sight to replace the round handguard cap with the triangle one for the build that I want to do, I need to know if I can get that front sight pillar and post off. So I looked at their website, and based on the pictures, all of the ones that are in 5.56, all the rubbers in 5.56 use taper pins like a standard mil-spec AR upper. Now Colt uses taper pins on their 9mm SMG and their 9mm carbine. They just attach them the same way. There's just no gas tube running out of them because the 9mm are direct blowback. But on the website for Rock River Arms, I can't tell how they're attached. All the ones in 5.56 obviously have taper pins. The 9mm ones don't look like they do. So I emailed their technical service email address asking a question like, hey, can you just tell me how these things come on and off the barrel so I know if I can personally replace them? They haven't gotten back to me in about 5 days. I did get an email as soon as I sent it saying they are backlogged on emails, which I don't blame them. I'm sure they got like 1 or 2 people that are answering all these technical questions, and they probably get a lot of them. So I'm not frustrated. I'm in no rush to get this barrel, but I kind of wish they would hurry up. You know, gun companies need to have good customer service. That is the one thing they must have in such a competitive marketplace. And they've got to be able to answer questions. I may give them a call this next week, but man, I'm hoping that they would just respond to that email. But who knows? And maybe if you guys have any experience with their 9mm barrels, let me know. Are they using taper pins on those or not? I've got one more channel thing for you, and it is a gun-related thing before I get into the more serious topics. And I owe some people some apologies because I have been really far behind on some of my product reviews. People send me stuff that I have to review, and sometimes it just goes on the back burner because of what's going on in my life, what guns I have in for review, and what I can use these accessories on. And I got 2 optics that I need to try out. I got this Zalusi, this is a red dot optic, and both of these use the Trigicon RMR footprint. So I have this one. I need to do like an unboxing and I put it onto a pistol. But believe it or not, I don't have many guns that are actually cut for red dots. And the ones that I do, I don't have the optics plates for them. I have one gun, but I have it perfectly set up. It's my Glock 19. I don't want to mess with that right now because it is set up absolutely perfect. But I think I need to buy some optics mounting plates for my Walther PDP and my SIG P320, the one that I built from a, like the parts I got off of line with the fire control unit, those custom shop fire control units. There's this one, which I think is going to be really good, and I've had this now for about 2 months. I got to get this thing out. So I don't want to just run these on the 22 pistols, which I can put these on, and people criticize some of my videos in the past and go, well, you need to put them on 9mm. Fair enough. I need to get these optics plates. The other one is by Advanced Optics. They have a little lion on the front there. Tactical Reflex Dot Sight. Yeah, so I don't know. These said it's designed in Oregon, but made in China. Now, of course, these are budget optics, but I'm telling you, some of these budget optics are really good. Some of them can be trash, some of them can be amazing, but I need to get these out. I need to hopefully find somebody, maybe locally, that has and sells the optics mounting plates for either the SIG or the PDP. I'll have to check some of the stores around here because I got to find that. I got to get these reviews done. So that's what's going on here at the channel. A little bit of gun talk, like water cooler gun stuff. So now I want to start getting into some serious topics. And so if you don't want to be depressed or have to think about anything negative, now would be the time to click away if I haven't bored you already. All right, so click away if you don't want to talk about the potential of bad things happening in the future. All right, you're gone. Okay, so the people that are staying, I want to talk about schools and school security in the upcoming school year because I think it's important for us to be prepared for stuff because we all know tragedies are going to happen. The world today is so full of evil and everything is so bifurcated. And now because the media gives people that commit these mass atrocities, you guys know what I'm talking about, at schools, well, the school year is just starting. Around here in Frisco, Texas, school started on Wednesday, and I actually start teaching on Monday in 2 days. And when I go to these schools, being a gun person, I see all of the flaws in their thinking when it comes to security and all of the security theater that they have. They have essentially what are glorified like Ring doorbells to let people in the front door. But these front doors literally are big pieces of glass. I mean, it'd be so easy to, bash through them with a bat or some type of blunt object. None of them have any type of posts that would prevent a car from driving up, busting through the front doors. And these things are wide. I mean, 5 or 6 doors wide. But yet people feel they're so safe and secure. In fact, there was a post, I guess, on one of the local Facebook groups for the like Moms of Prosper, because my wife is a member of that, because we used to have kids, even though they all just graduated, she's still a Facebook member of these groups. And somebody had talked about how silly it is for them to go pick up a kid from school, their own kid, and they can't even go inside. They have to be buzzed in just to talk to somebody through this terrible intercom, and how it's a bunch of security theater. And then all these moms came on here, and by the way, Frisco is turning more and more blue all the time, coming on there and going, well, this is how secure schools need to be safe and secure. And people, granted, are saying like, no, this doesn't actually make the school safe. It makes you feel like they're safe, but they're really not. Because when I go into these schools, I see all of the security flaws, and can you really harden a target and make it into a prison or a bank or a vault? No, you really can't. So the only way to protect these schools is to hire armed security, either have more RSOs, resource officers, or professional security guards that are armed. But it's pretty obvious to me. One of the people that I have interacted with in the past is the father of one of my former students. In fact, he usually watches this channel. And he'll sometimes text me and say, hey, I saw your video, and ask me something about it. He is actually a former member of the United States Secret Service. And he was on presidential details, and more specifically, retired presidents' details. And I got to ask him a lot of cool questions about guns, what they used, what did he carry. He's even a firearms instructor for them. He's retired now. And I asked him, I said, how do you guys constantly prepare for all of these potential situations that you might be in? How do you prepare for that? How do you approach it? And he was very candid with me. He goes, you can't. I mean, they have things in place, and they, of course, I guess we'll say war game certain scenarios. If certain things happen, people will look at what they're doing, try to figure out what their weaknesses are, where a potential attacker could come from, different ways of approaching it. And they're, I guess, trying to always fix that and make the security better. And that's what they got to do. I think schools need to do exactly the same thing. They need to have people to come in, not just these hired professional consultants, but I mean like a real, a person that knows what the heck they're doing, and come in under a drill circumstance and show them the weakness of getting into the schools, or what they could do. Let's just say it's a very controlled environment. The police have the building surrounded, so in this drill, nothing can really happen. But let's say they have a guy come up and show them how easy it is to break through the locked doors, or the windows, or to get into a school, and how fast things can happen. It's kind of a dark thing that someone has to do to put their head in the mindset of somebody that could be so evil. But I think it's important. Because as I said, school is starting up right now. And when do these events happen? Well, it's when schools are in session. They never happened during the summer, and they didn't happen during the pandemic. And with the way the world is today, and the fame that these evil and horrible people are able to achieve because of the media, because they want to be the ones that do the most damage and be the ones that change the law, that will be forever echoed in the halls of history as the one that did it. They seek that fame, and they seek that glory. And there's people that are truly evil in this world. And I don't really think that some people truly grasp how evil other people can be. They can't get into that mindset, because for someone like you or someone like me, we never want to hurt anybody. In fact, I would have to say that probably everybody that watches this channel, including myself, we want to protect life. We want to protect children. We want to protect our communities and protect our families. We feel like it's our obligation, our responsibilities as good citizens and good people. And, it's one of the reasons why we have guns, is to protect our nation from enemies, foreign and domestic, to protect our communities, as I said. And I know there's a lot of people here that may be law enforcement, or ex-military, or maybe currently in the military, or whatever, that we take our communities very serious, and we want the best for everybody. And I just don't think that some people grasp that evil, because in their mind they're like, I could never do that. It's an evil that's incomprehensible. And so they ignore weaknesses and security, because somebody that is truly determined to do those things is not going to be dissuaded by a glass door and having to be buzzed into the school through a glorified Ring doorbell. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And of course, when this event happens, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we all know it. We all know it. We have to be prepared for it. I mean, I pray to God it doesn't happen. But it happens. And of course, then the media is going to call for the same old stuff. Assault weapons ban, magazine bans. When we know it would do absolutely nothing to prevent these tragedies from happening. It's like here in Frisco, we actually had a tragedy happen on the very first day of school on Wednesday. A kid was driving. He was riding his bike to high school on the very first day at 5:30 in the morning, because he was a member of the football team. and they were going to practice, and he got hit by a car, and he unfortunately passed away. And I haven't been able to get much more information on this. The news really hasn't published the scenario around what happened. Was the person speeding? We don't know. Was it in a crosswalk? We don't know. Was the kid riding in the street? Was he on the side? We don't know. But of course, all these people are out there now saying, here in this town, oh my gosh, we got to have the school zones now expanded to like 4 a.m. in the morning till like 7 p.m. at night and have it all day long because it's a tragedy. We got to slow these people down. We got to go from 15-mile-an-hour school zones down to 5-mile-an-hour school zones. And some of these people are panicking because they go to their heart and their emotion and they have no idea what actually happened. We have no idea what actually happened. But that's the way people are going to be with the gun issue. And I think that we all need to start preparing because it could happen this year. Pray to God it doesn't, but it might. But anyway, are you guys kind of mentally preparing for what could possibly happen now that school's back in session? And are your school districts doing anything substantial to actually make their schools safer? I sure hope they are. So anyway, let's have a good discussion in the comment section below. And sorry for being a little bit dark here in the end, but we got to think about these things because evil never sleeps, it never rests. And we want our kids and our community safe. So, as always, thanks for watching.